Jackson has continued to add to his legend in the last weekend's win over Buffalo, providing more and more absolutely ridiculous highlights. Let's go to the TrueView video and show you a different look at a couple of his best plays in that game. Let's break this on down. The first play, this 17-yard run, a zone read. He decides to keep it. He's going to see the defense crash down on Mark Ingram. Once you pay attention to Mark Andrews on the edge, who was a fantastic blocker, not just a pass catcher. And then Lamar Jackson just scoots on out of bounds. Listen, in the beginning of the season, we all said, is this sustainable? He's going to take too many shots. He's too slight. Watch how he gets out of bounds at the very end. Yeah, could he fight for a couple extra yards? Could he try to shake another guy and go to the end zone? Cool. But he decides to get out of bounds. That's how you stay healthy and maintain his health the rest of the season. Right here, he's going to see Jordan Poyer. He's going to jab step him a little bit just to draw him in. And because of his speed and athleticism as a defender, you're going to want to jump on him and try to make that play. Him being this close to the end zone is too dangerous for any defense to not respect. They respect his speed. They respect his ability. So he decides, you know what, I'm going to flip this ball to Nick Boyle, and Boyle rules every time he gets the ball from Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can do it all. The reason I wanted to show those two plays is because he has to make great decisions. We can talk about the arm, we can talk about the legs, but you got to start talking about his mind. Lamar Jackson continues to impress.
More than just highlights,
It's
right?
more than just highlights.
Gifts.
More than just gifts. And we always have a highlight when Will Selva is hitting us with the news from Culver City. Will, what's up, baby?
Hey, what's going on there, Nate and guys? Talking about a place you've always been affiliated with, Seattle. There's news out of there, and it's not particularly very good. Seahawks running back Rashad Penny looked like he finally turned the corner. He was coming off 2 straight productive games, running for 2 and 3 yards and 3 TDs, helping form a potent 1-2 punch with Chris Carson. But he got some bad news as NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport is reporting Penny tore his ACL in Sunday's loss to the Rams and is done for the remainder of the season. Head coach Pete Carroll saying, quote, he has had a big impact the last few weeks. We're going to miss him the rest of the season. Well, the Falcons suffering a big loss on offense as well, as wide receiver Calvin Ridley is out for the season after suffering an abdominal injury in Sunday's win over the Panthers. Ridley ends his sophomore campaign with 866 yards receiving and a team-best 7 touchdowns. Tom Brady could certainly use a target like Ridley. TB12 has the lowest completion percentage and passer rating since 2013. In Sunday's loss to the Chiefs, Brady had just 169 passing yards, his second lowest output of the season. He joined WEEI Radio on Monday and was asked what they need to do to get more production out of the offense.
And I mean, I wish there was just one magic thing that you could just, do and it would just change everything. But, it's not, it really comes down to all of us, 11 as a unit just executing well, whether it's a run or pass or whoever I'm throwing to, I got to make a good throw and give our guys a chance to make a play. So, I could just focus on what my job is to read it out and try to find the right matchup and try to make a good, accurate throw.
Now, the Patriots have lost 3 of their last 5. They did the same thing between weeks 10 and 15 last year. And what did they do after that? Well, they won their next 5 games, including the playoffs and, of course, the Super Bowl. Case in point, why Kyle has kept them in his top 5. You never can count them out. Period. Exclamation point.
Talk about Will.
Whatever you want to use.
They can lose to Cincinnati by 50 this weekend. They're going to be in number 5 next week, fam. Count on that.
Yep.
Those are my guys.
Keep them in there.
Well, let's keep the Pats talk going. The offensive woes continued in their Week 14 loss against the Chiefs. They have 2 straight games. They've lost to the Ravens, the Texans, and who else did they just lose to? The Chiefs. In the past 5 weeks, 3 AFC contending losses, and their 1-win Bengals are up next Sunday. So for more on the Patriots and their struggles, here's Mike Giardi.
Good morning, Kay. Usually by this point of the season, the Patriots know what they are offensively, with the rare exception, including last year when they became more of a downhill power running football team late in December and on into the postseason. But this year, they can't run the ball, and now they're finding that they have very few playmakers on offense aside from Julian Edelman and James White. Edelman's always going to get his targets, somehow finds a way to get open, but now White, who has been the second most reliable guy in this offense, is getting doubled on 3rd downs and in red zone situations. Sort of getting the Rob Gronkowski treatment, even though obviously different positions and certainly different size and stature. But that is forcing Brady to look elsewhere. and he's just not getting enough from other players. Mohamed Sanu, acquired for a second-round pick from the Atlanta Falcons at the trade deadline, was in the game for 39 snaps. He was targeted officially just once, although there were 2 balls thrown his way. One was a defensive pass interference, but just 1 catch for 13 yards, and he was invisible in the second half of the game. They need more from him, and they need more from their rookie wide receivers, Jacoby Myers, who had 2 big drops, and, of course, first-round pick N'Keal Harry, who got just 2 snaps in the game on Sunday. Kay, back to you.
Thank you so much. And we did hear Tom Brady say if there was one magical thing to turn around and do it, that we do it. And I wish that there was. So maybe there's not one magical thing, but I'm pretty sure there's like one guy that could step up and start making some plays. So they're in great shape. 3 games to go. Who's that guy? Who needs to step up for the Patriots offense?
I'll go right where Mike said, Mohamed Sanu. Second-round pick for him, a guy who's played in a Super Bowl, who's played good football in this league. Last 4 games, 13 yards, 14 yards, 0 yards, 4 yards. It's one of the great mysteries right now with the Patriots. Why trade for him if you're not going to use him? Get on the same page fast.
This is America's Game Week. What I mean by that is there's a documentary every year for the NFL Network where we look at the Super Bowl champions and we collect all the doubters. Last year was after the Dolphins lost in the Miami Miracle. A lot of us were featured on that.
Doc Week.
But is this not a year where it feels like there isn't going to be an America's game at the end of this? I don't know. They're a pinata right now. You throw in this whole Bengals situation with the videotaper at the Browns-Bengals game, and it's just more reason to be skeptical about the Patriots. Doesn't feel like it did in recent years, and this offense certainly doesn't look like it. I'm not so sure they are going to just turn this thing around.
Congratulations, you just made the trailer.
There you go.
That's the whole point of this week, is to say it doesn't seem like they can win, right? I mean, here we are.
I would say it's Josh McDaniels. You mentioned it earlier in the show. One of you guys, I said, where's Josh McDaniels? We haven't mentioned his name. There's a lot of boy geniuses out there when it comes to play calling. I get it. There's some young guys, some unfamiliar names. Maybe they're playing slow because they don't have a grasp on the playbook. And if that is the case, then what are you doing as an offensive coordinator to put these guys in the best position? Of course, Jacoby Myers is going to have to catch the ball. Players are going to have to step up. N'Keal Harry has to be more consistent. We need more plays like the touchdown they took away. Dorsett, we got to use your speed in the correct way. I feel like Josh McDaniels, it's up to him. This needs to be a great coaching performance for him.
I think it's the resilience. That's what's going to come through. Tom Curran wrote a brilliant piece on NBC Sports. It's something we talk about a lot, but this is in their DNA, as he puts really eloquently. It's who they are, and I know that there's players who weren't there last year and a lot of new rookies and young guys. But, you know, those Malcolm Butler moments come when everything is facing them and their backs are up against the wall. So we'll see what happens against the Bengals. As we all know, we're on to Cincinnati. More GMFB on the way. Former Angry Runs champion is coming back to defend his title against Todd Gurley.
Can anybody take out the kit? Who's taking out the People's Champ? We'll get into it.
And a Hall of Famer in the building, Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, my Lord.
Hey, yo!
Good morning, sir.
Kyle turns around. Oh, my Lord.
I didn't know Lawrence Taylor was here.
Oh, my Lord.
Hello.
That's
That's what offense players will say.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
I just went over the middle.